Hello and welcome, First Tech Challenge teams. I'm Isaiah Virel, and I'm happy to be here for the First Tech Challenge 2022-2023 season kickoff and the reveal of Power Play presented by Raytheon Technologies, all part of First Energize presented by Qualcomm. We're excited to have all 10 of our 2022 Dean's List Award winners hosting our kickoff show today.
Hi First Tech Challenge teams, I'm Diana Omar. I'm so thrilled to be part of the Power Play celebration. We have a full show today packed with some kickoff messages from some familiar first faces, our very generous First and First Tech Challenge sponsors, a gracious professionalism message from our past year's Dean's List Award winners, the Power Play season reveal, and finally a detailed field walkthrough to help teams get started with their season planning. All of the game materials are now available on our website, so please use the website as your reference during the season. To kick off our fully charged celebration, we have First Chief Executive Officer Chris Moore.
Hello First Tech Challenge community. Welcome to the 2022 First Energize presented by Qualcomm season. I'm thrilled to be here to help kick off a new season of First Tech Challenge, and I can't wait for you to get your first glimpse of the new game Power Play presented by Raytheon Technologies. I hope you leave kickoff feeling charged up for what this season has in store. We wouldn't be here today without the generous support of our sponsors, so I want to extend a special thanks to First Tech Challenge season presenting sponsor, Raytheon Technologies. I also want to thank all the amazing mentors and volunteers who graciously give of their time to help our teams be successful in everything from teamwork, outreach, robot building, and programming. To all First volunteers, I hope you know that you are critical to the success of our events and our programs, and you're the reason why First is such a transformative experience for all of the students who participate. So thank you for your commitment to the mission of First. And finally, I want to wish all the youth team members watching a great season. We can't wait to see how you approach the game this year. And on behalf of all of us at First, good luck, and we'll see you out on the Power Play field. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. A huge thank you to all our sponsors this year making our first Energize season and Power Play game possible. For more than 16 years, Qualcomm has supported First programs, events, and teams worldwide. Through their collaboration and support of First, Qualcomm is helping build the pipeline of STEM leaders who will fuel the future invention age. Here's a special message to inspire you this season.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams, and welcome to Power Play, part of the First Energize presented by Qualcomm season. I'm Chloe Callahan from Corporate Responsibility at Qualcomm, and we are so happy to support another season. We'll be cheering you on as you fuel your imagination, power your innovations, and test the limits. For engineers, creators, and inventors, energy choice is a balancing act. What innovative strategies will you employ to maximize efficiency, endurance, and performance in Power Play? At Qualcomm, our technologies offer innovative ways to maximize the performance of devices while reducing the amount of energy they use. With 5G, we have the opportunity to help lower greenhouse gas emissions, better manage electricity, reduce water consumption, and contribute to green job growth. To further explore how 5G technologies are helping improve environmental sustainability, visit the First Tech Challenge game and season page. In First Energize, the power is yours. It's your new ideas that could unlock an energy revolution. Good luck, First Tech Challenge teams, and we'll see you out on the Power Play field.
Thank you, Qualcomm. And now our First Tech Challenge season presenting sponsor, Raytheon Technologies, will take you behind the scenes and give you a closer look at how they're bringing clean energy solutions to aviation.
Welcome to the 2022 First Tech Challenge season, Power Play presented by Raytheon Technologies. This year's FTC season is directly related to solving problems outlined in the United Nations Sustainability Development Goal number 7, which focuses on ensuring access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy for everyone. How you design and engineer a solution is critical to its performance, and energy always plays a big role. From analyzing power consumption and range to optimizing size, weight, materials, and the goal is always to make the right decision to give your creation a decisive edge. These skills that you will develop and hone this season in your research, design, and problem solving are exactly the same skills that Raytheon Technologies employees use every day, shaping the future of aerospace. As an aerospace and defense company, Raytheon Technology fully supports the civil aviation industry's drive to decarbonization by 2050. And now you all will get a behind-the-scene look at how our teams are creating clean energy aviation solutions for today, tomorrow, and in the future.
Here at Pratt & Whitney, I'm a design engineer in the Mechanical Systems Transmissions team, where I support the main gearbox, angled gearbox, and of course the fan drive gear system, which truly sets the geared turbofan apart from any other engine in its class.
As an oil systems and thermal management systems engineer at Pratt & Whitney, I'm responsible for keeping the engine cool as it flies through the sky.
The fan drive gear system allows the fan in the front of the engine to spin about 3 times slower than the turbines in the back. This allows the geared turbofan engine to be much quieter, much more fuel efficient, and ultimately much greener than any other engine that came before it.
By 2035, we plan to launch a hybrid electric GTF engine with 25% fuel reduction.
It has been so rewarding to work here at Pratt & Whitney and support the innovative technology that is the geared turbofan.
I'm proud to work at a company that cares so much about sustainability and the future of the aviation industry.
In the not-too-distant future, hybrid electric and fully electric aircraft will revolutionize air travel as we know it, opening up new markets like urban air mobility while reinvigorating others like regional service and underutilized airports. This technology supports a greener planet by reducing carbon emissions and operation costs. Hybrid electric aircraft propulsion systems pair a conventional aircraft engine with an electric motor and drivetrain. Similar to a hybrid car, a hybrid electric plane would have both engines and electric motors. The motors and batteries will provide a boost during takeoff and climb. This will allow the engines to be optimized for cruise. Another alternative fuel that has drawn significant attention is hydrogen, which produces no carbon emissions when it is burned. Today, we're developing technology for next-generation engines that run on hydrogen, and also reimagining airframes to properly store this lower energy density fuel. The team here at Raytheon Technologies Research Center is also working on engine concepts that are powered by intermediate hydrogen fuels, such as ammonia. Ammonia brings the advantages of hydrogen propulsion, but in a more transportable fuel. The benefits of both fuels are dramatic, with the promise of zero in-flight CO2 emissions.
Our teams are working across the Raytheon Technologies enterprise to make hybrid electric propulsion a reality. And we are uniquely positioned to lead aerospace in electrification through the combination of Collins Aerospace expertise in electrical systems and Pratt & Whitney's propulsion system manufacturing, as well as integration capabilities, and the advanced architecture concepts and fuel cell technologies that are being developed here at the Research Center. Your FTC team will join others from around the world to reimagine the future of sustainable energy and compete in an energy-driven game that tests the limits of performance, efficiency, and endurance as you power your innovations forward. Hopefully, our work helps fuel your imagination, and we can't wait to see your team's creative solutions in PowerPlay. Best of luck to all of you.
Thank you for that behind-the-scenes look. I hope that gives all of you some inspiration for this season.
We want to take a moment to remind our community that gracious professionalism is an important part of what makes FIRST, and that it's also at the heart of each and every team practice and get-together, as well as every First Tech Challenge event. Here's our 2021 Dean's List winners to remind us all about the importance of gracious professionalism for this upcoming season.
To me, gracious professionalism is about helping everyone to perform their best. One of my favorite memories is the time I zip-tied my opponent's robot back together in one of the last qualifier matches of our league championship.
Gracious professionalism is knowing that even though we compete with or against other teams, we will always be friends and cheer each other on.
To me, gracious professionalism is where everybody who's at the table can be valued for their own individual set of skills.
To me, gracious professionalism means being positive and respectful to everyone, no matter the situation.
Gracious professionalism is working in collaboration with your fellow competitors, ensuring that no matter who ends up getting first place, everyone walks away feeling supported and having learned something.
Gracious professionalism to me means working with a diverse group of individuals from different backgrounds and cultures to innovate and create a big, caring society.
Gracious professionalism is about more than gaining technical skills and competing. It's about being a good team member, a good volunteer, and a good person.
Gracious professionalism means being true to myself and others by respecting and supporting everyone, no matter what side of the field they are on, in competition and in life.
Gracious professionalism is the foundation from which a massive tech community like FIRST is built upon. All of the creativity and teamwork and inspiration for kids to build the future starts with all of us nurturing an environment of respect and acceptance.
FIRST depends on our community embracing gracious professionalism, making it a priority in the competition season and part of your everyday life. This season, your goal is to be a collaborative teammate, a respected competitor, and a better person, which are all central themes of being a gracious professional.
One of our favorite gracious professionals is our 2022 Compass Award winner, Fernando Melendez Loya, who was nominated by Team 12887, Devolt Phobos, from Chihuahua, Mexico. He is here today to thank all of our amazing First Tech Challenge mentors and tell us what mentoring a First Tech Challenge team means to him.
Hola, buenos días. Reciban un saludo desde Chihuahua, México. Me siento muy afortunado de ser parte de esta gran fiesta que es el Kickoff de la temporada 2022-2023 Powerplay. Y más afortunado y honrado de haber recibido el Compass Award el pasado Mundial de Houston en el mes de abril. First ha sido un gran cambio en mi vida. Es un lugar donde puedo convivir con niños y jóvenes, guiarlos, mentorearlos y ser parte de su crecimiento. Estos últimos 6 años como coach han sido una gran aventura. Pasar de iniciar un proyecto con 10 personas y un solo equipo a tener más de 70 integrantes en 5 equipos diferentes. Esto es solo una pequeña muestra de lo que se puede lograr con dedicación, paciencia y sobre todo amor y pasión por hacer las cosas. El ver a estos jóvenes disfrutar cada competencia, cada viaje y ser parte de su crecimiento es lo que más me emociona como coach. Es por eso que quiero reconocer y valorar el esfuerzo de todos los coaches, mentores, voluntarios que ponen su tiempo, su esfuerzo, su dedicación en lograr de que cada evento sea significativo para nuestros jóvenes. Sepan que todo ese tiempo y trabajo invertido valen la pena. Muchas gracias a todos ellos.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Florida FTC Kickoff, coming to you live from beautiful Lake Highland Preparatory School right here in Orlando, Florida. We've got a lot of great stuff in store for you. We've got Hans giving you some special information about Florida, a message from Ken up in headquarters, and of course everyone wants to know, what is Power Play, the new FTC game? And following up, everyone's 3 favorite 3-letter words, Bob and Sid. Well, let's get back to the studio.
We're here. Power Play. You know, Power Play, like, it reminds me of something.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Hockey.
Hockey.
It's a term in hockey.
It's a term in hockey.
2008 hockey pucks.
Are they coming back? We'll
I
find
think
out.
So. Look, First wants to keep the costs low. So hope everybody saved their hockey pucks from 2008.
I can cover this kid's face with it. It's kind of fun.
I am confident that this is this year's game element. Start posting what you guys think the game element is this year. All right, so let's get started. Let's bring up the material. Let me do a quick intro into the season. The first topic is that the current plan is to do only traditional events this year, no more remote events. And really it's not possible given some rule changes. And today you're going to hear about game manual number 2, but remember, you guys need to read game manual number 1 also. All right, so then the other thing that we always start the next season is congratulating success at the last year's World Championship. So this now makes team number 6 as a part of the winning alliance. So congratulations, 14-7-25, Java the Hutts, for being a part of last year's winning alliance, continuing the Florida tradition. And then last thing here is just quick updates on some changes to the leagues. The Tesla League is now called the Orlando Robotics League, and we have some leadership changes. So thank you to Lolita and Mark McCombs up in Northeast Florida, and Robin McClure for stepping up to take control of the league there. And then also thank you to Allison and Henry Roth for all of your years of help. They're retiring from league leadership. Now I've been told that they're going to continue to help volunteer at events, but welcome Ave Masani for the league director for the Robot League. Now I think we need to get going into stuff that really people want to hear about. But again, last comment, no changes to the leagues, 8-league structure. Let's get into some comments from Ken about this season.
Hi, I'm Ken Johnson, Senior Director of First Tech Challenge, and I'm excited to talk about the new season and this year's game, Power Play, presented by Raytheon Technologies. Number 1, though, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the First Tech Challenge community. These last couple of years have been challenging, and we met those challenges together. Your problem solving, creativity, and perseverance were examples to the world, and as a result, First Tech Challenge grew 33% last season. We will continue to press the FIRST mission forward with your help. Please spread the word about FIRST and how we are changing the future. We want to make First Tech Challenge available to students around the world. Most of you have seen firsthand the impact we make. Please share your stories to grow our community and help others. Speaking of growing our community, thanks to the generous support of the DECA Foundation, we have increased our rookie grants from $500 to $750 per rookie team this season. These are need-based grants, but we have quite a few of them, so we're able to serve a wide variety of rookie teams. This season, we're expanding the application of TensorFlow. Many teams have been using artificial intelligence or machine learning with TensorFlow, using image models created by FIRST to identify game elements. Last year, we held a pilot effort, allowing teams to also create their own image models of team-created scoring elements. This allows teams to train TensorFlow to detect custom elements for gameplay. Students and teams doing this are applying artificial intelligence from start to finish. Not just learning conceptually what AI is, but actually applying it all the way through. Amazing. And something most college students and adults can't do. Pretty good skill to add to your resume or college application. This season, all teams will have this opportunity, so please check it out. As everyone knows, the global supply chain has been tough over the last couple of years. Electronics have been particularly hit hard, impacting everything from consumer goods to automobiles. It has impacted FIRST as well, but thanks to the hard work by Rev Robotics and our FIRST community, those issues are being managed. We expect to have control hubs in stock in September, and we will prioritize rookie team and rookie class pack orders to help new folks get started. And whether you're new or returning team, check out the FIRST Mentor Network sponsored by NI to help your team find and connect with additional FIRST mentors for inspiration, fundraising, and robot building, for a meeting or for the entire season. And finally, we are expanding the First Tech Challenge World Championship footprint in Houston, growing from 160 to 192 teams starting this season. It will still be tough to earn your way there, but we want to ensure every team around the world has the merit-based opportunity to earn a spot. Well, that's it for now. This season, I can't wait to see your teams power up, develop creative solutions, and test the limits. Good luck and have fun.
Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Rahima.
I'm from 10650 Hazmat Robotics Biohazards, and I am a junior. I'm from 9277 Hazmat Robotics Explosives, and I'm a senior. As my FTC student career is coming to an end, I get to become an alumni.
And here's a video to showcase that.
Participants.
An alumni of FIRST programs.
FIRST programs.
Gain access to education.
Amazing career discovery opportunities.
Exclusive connections to scholarships.
Really cool employers.
And ultimately, a place in the FIRST community.
And a place in the FIRST community.
And a place in the FIRST community
for life.
This is a network of people that you get to grow with for your entire career.
Hi, I'm Jason Rudolph, alumni of Team 168 from North Miami Beach Senior High School. I'm the owner and founder of Mobius Productions, where I work as a screens producer and a lighting director on large shows such as the Oscars and the Super Bowl halftime show, where I have won 3 Emmy Awards, though I can only hold 2 at once. I don't think I'd be where I am today if FIRST hadn't changed the game for me early on, teaching me how to take a large group of people and pull off a project under extreme stress and under a short timeline. So thank you for that, FIRST.
Well, that's my brother, if you didn't notice.
He looks like you.
He looks like me. He's shorter than me, and I hold that over him. We're here at Lake Highland. These are students from the local teams here.
Do you guys buy that?
No. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thanks. Feel free to laugh and applaud and make noises if you want. Okay? Hey, it works! So when you guys graduate, being part of the alumni organization is pretty awesome. You get a lot of opportunities. You get job opportunities. You get to do exclusive tours and things like that. And to become part of the Florida First alumni, you send an email over to floridafirstalumni@gmail.com. It'll auto-respond to you. It'll give you some options to sign into a LinkedIn group and a few other things. Plus, then you're on the email list, so when things are going on, you'll get to find out about it. And it's pretty awesome to stay connected once you've graduated out of the program. And, oh yeah, thirsty. He's thirsty.
Yeah, my throat's a little graspy. I need to take a drink from my red Solo cup.
Mine's empty.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I forgot to fill yours. I apologize. So, one quick announcement, very exciting thing. This was Lauren Bieberman's suggestion, so I think it's a great idea. Normally we have volunteers, other people that design the t-shirt at the state championship. This was designed by my son last year. And then if you can see behind me, oh, and of course, look at this t-shirt
that shirt,
here.
It's beautiful.
Well, who's the guy?
The guy is not beautiful.
Oh, I know.
I mean, he's beautiful? Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Eric.
Yeah, sorry, Eric.
He's not even in the room. I don't know if I'm apologizing.
I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's a quilt that Becky Hoyt made for me many years ago of past T-shirts from the state championship. But this year, everybody is invited to submit a design. And more importantly, not only the winner that we select for the T-shirt design for the state championship, you'll get some Rev Robotics shirts, but really the big thing is you're going to get an automatic bid to the state championship.
Oh,
that's
I was
huge.
pointing at the shirt. That's last year's shirt. That's amazing.
So
I didn't even know that.
So stay tuned to my emails with the
rehearsal.
details of how to submit your design ideas. It'll have to be submitted by the end of November. And that's it.
Yep. Well, now we have to hear from... Oh, he's raising his hand. He has a question. No, he doesn't. He wants to be recognized. We've got a great little tech tip with everyone's best friend, AJ.
Hi everyone, it's AJ here to talk about technology for the 2022-2023 First Tech Challenge season. If you're a veteran team this year, the technology landscape will look very similar from last year. The robot, electrical, and software rules are largely the same, so you can continue to enjoy using your hubs and smartphones just like you're used to. But stick around because I have a special request for you later on. If you're joining us as a new team this year, welcome! It's going to be a lot of fun and you're going to learn a ton. Unfortunately, due to supply shortages, many of the Rev expansion and control hubs that would normally be a part of your team kits are currently unavailable. But don't worry, because we can help. Now, a lot of teams use the Rev control hub, that's the one with the orange stripe in the middle, as their robot controller. This device goes on the robot itself. It gives you 4 motors and a variety of sensors. It also handles the wireless communication between your robot and the driver station. However, it might be a while before you can get your hands on one of these control hubs. So it's important to know that this is not the only way that you can drive your robot. The Rev Expansion Hub looks very similar to the Control Hub, just without that orange stripe in the middle. And it covers many of the same jobs. It goes on your robot and gives you 4 motors and a variety of sensors. The one thing it doesn't handle is the wireless communication between your robot and the driver station. In order to cover that job, you'll need to add on an approved Android smartphone. There are currently 8 phones available for use with First Tech Challenge this year. All 8 phones are made by Motorola, and First has some guidance on which model numbers you might want to buy. If you don't have access to a control hub, one of these approved phones, along with an expansion hub, will do the trick. Just one quick note. The 2 phones at the bottom of this list may be your cheapest options available. However, you might want to stay away from them. First has said that next year, only phones that can run Android version 7 will be approved for use, and these 2 phones may not support it. So keep this in mind when you're researching your options. Now, you might be saying, that's great that we can replace a control hub with an expansion hub plus a smartphone, but we can't get our hands on an expansion hub either. That's where we come in. Veteran teams, it's time to listen up again. If you have an extra Rev expansion hub that you can't or won't use on your robot this year, please consider loaning it to another team. Many teams recently moved from a design with 2 expansion hubs to one with an expansion hub and a control hub, leaving one extra expansion hub that can't be used on the robot. Please consider reaching out to your league leadership and other teams in your area to see if anyone might need that extra hub. And if you still have something to offer, reach out to me and I will connect you with other teams from across the state. Likewise, if you need an expansion hub, please reach out to your league leadership or contact me. So that's the first step to overcoming this supply shortage. Remember that you can use an expansion hub and an approved Android smartphone in place of a control hub to drive your robot. This is how everyone did things just a few years ago, and you'll continue to see veteran teams use this method. When you've used up all of the motor ports on an expansion hub and really wish that you had a second one to power just a few more things, remember that there are other ways of powering motors and servos other than using a second hub. Check out the Spark Mini motor controller and the servo power module from Rev. Devices like these can give you that extra little boost of power you may need to finish a design without using a second hub. That's all from me. Remember to check your supplies for extra hubs and connect with other teams in your area who may need them. Good luck this season, and I'll see you at the field.
Good job, AJ.
Thank you, AJ. Good advice. So I'm feeling a little glamorous today.
Yeah, I mean, the costume changes are very Gaga-esque.
Yes. I'm clearly at the Emmys.
Yes.
Right? Am I not Lady Gaga? Okay. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Yes, that's the best way to keep old people happy is just laugh at their jokes. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So last item of the day here, and that is building on what AJ just talked about. So I've heard from First that control hubs should start shipping here in a couple of weeks, and they're going to ship out about 500 per week. So rookie teams who haven't received them yet, you should really start receiving them in late September, early October. And if you go to the next slide, I just want to reinforce what AJ was talking about earlier, which is let's talk about sharing, right? So either send an email to myself or AJ, and we will maintain an inventory of teams that are willing to share. In fact, if you're a retired team, I probably might even buy the hubs from you. So please reach out to me if you have anything you're willing to share with teams. And thank you very much. And so I think it's soon going to be time. How much time do we have left before we can start?
We're ready to go?
We can roll?
Oh, let's find out about power. We don't have the hats on here. Come on, do that.
Power play.
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge 2022-2023 season game. Power Play, presented by Raytheon Technologies. A team consists of up to 2 driver operators, a human player, a coach, and a robot. Each match is played with 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. But each alliance is only allowed 1 human player. Your opponent for one match may be your partner for another. Robots must be built from materials specified in the game manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing tool, but may expand after the match begins. The game element is a 4-inch diameter by 5-inch tall plastic cone. There are 60 cones, 30 red and 30 blue. Teams may also use their custom-designed beacons in gameplay. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls. Various sized junctions are placed across the field, including 9 ground junctions. In addition, there are 8 low, 4 medium, and 4 high junctions. These junctions are mounted on flexible springs and might not be perfectly vertical. Taped-off substations are centered on both sides. In each corner are taped-off terminals. In the front and back of the field are taped stripes to help robots find cone stacks. There are 4 signals placed on the field. 4 unique navigation images are positioned on the field walls. And outside of the field are the red and blue alliance stations. Before each match, cones are stacked in the substation storage areas and inside the playing fields. Custom beacons are also placed in the substation storage areas. Teams place their robots on the field, touching the wall between the substations and terminals. Each team may preload 1 cone into their robot. The 3-sided signal is then randomized. Each image references a specific parking target during match play. If a team designs their own signal sleeve, it can be used to gain additional points. The field and players are now ready. The match begins with a 30-second autonomous period. During this period, there are a number of ways for teams to score, using only pre-programmed instructions and sensor inputs. Each cone secured on a junction earns points. 2 points for the ground junction, 3 points for the low junction, 4 points for the medium junction, and 5 points for the high junction. A robot parked in their Alliance substation or terminal earns 2 points. If a robot's sensors correctly read the randomized signal, it can park in the corresponding signal zone to earn 10 points. However, parking in the proper signal zone shown by a custom signal sleeve will earn 20 points. Following the autonomous period is the 2-minute driver-controlled period. During this period, human players may introduce new cones into the substations. Each cone that is placed in its matching color terminal earns 1 point. Securing cones in junctions earns the same points as during the autonomous period. 2 points for the ground junction, 3 points for the low, 4 points for medium, and 5 points for the high junction. The last 30 seconds of the driver-controlled period is the end game. Robots may continue scoring cones, but there are also ways to earn bonus points. Alliances earn points for owning a junction. This can be accomplished in 2 ways. An alliance owns the junction if their colored cone is scored on top. This earns an additional 3 points. The junction can also be owned by capping it with a beacon. This earns 10 additional points and prevents the opposing alliance from recapturing that junction. An alliance earns 20 points by completing a circuit. This is done by owning a continuous path of junctions from one terminal to the other. And if a robot is parked in either of their alliance terminals, it earns 2 points. All cones scored during the autonomous period count again if they remain in place at the end of the match. There are many ways to score in Power Play, but there are also rules that if not followed will deduct points from your alliance. For example, robots may not de-score opposing alliance cones or beacons. A robot may not block or interfere with an opposing alliance attempting to score. A robot must be completely outside of a substation in order to score a cone or a beacon. Robots may control or possess only one cone and one beacon at a time. Scoring elements may not be launched, and robots may not deliberately remove game elements from the playing field. This has been a brief summary of this season's game, Power Play, presented by Raytheon Technologies. For complete rules, please read both game manuals and check the Q&A forum. And always remember the most important rule in First Tech Challenge, gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a great season!
And here is
The Bob and Sid Show.
for more about the rules and regulations.
Hi, I'm Referee Bob.
Hi, I'm Referee Sid.
And this is Power Play.
Power Play.
Just to remind you, this is the best estimation of Sid and I's reading through the rules a few times.
If you have any questions about the game, please post in the Q&A for GDC to respond back for clarification.
We're going to talk about where the robot needs to be set up for this year's game. Basically, it's got to be within 2 tiles, the one here and the one that's over there. Touch the wall is in last year, and your robot can be in orientation as long as it's completely within the 2 tiles on your side of the alliance station.
What are the game elements? This a signal here held by Bob is supplied by the tournament, and the team is able to make their own.
So this will be a tournament supplied signal, which will be used for the autonomous randomization. It's got the 3 different spots on it, you can see, and then teams can make their own sleeves. This is an opened up one that's out there, and this is one that's put together. And if you go to Game Manual Part 1, there'll be more details, including a template that you'll need to download to print that out to bring it. And make sure you bring extras to the match in case yours gets damaged.
And just note that you have to have your team number pre-printed. After the field is set, the personnel are going to randomize the field, which will establish the zone where the robots are going to navigate for bonus points. In a driver control period, the human player places the cone in the substation from the substation storage one at a time, and the robots will continue to place them in the junction or secure junctions, and they can also go and get cones from the stack.
So in endgame, you can continue to score cones onto the various junctions. You can place yours over the other team's color if they're already there. Whoever has the last one on the top will own that junction at the end. You can also get a team-supplied beacon that will be put into the substation by the human player, and then you can cap any of the junctions. Once you do that, you completely own it. Remember, for this year, you do have to have one that is primarily blue and one that is primarily red. And then the last thing you can do is you can navigate into either of your terminals, and then by owning the junctions, you want to try to make a circuit between the terminal on this side of the field along with the one across the opposite corner. Your robot has to be starting in one of the 2 tiles. If you look at the diagram in the manual, it'll show you it's tile 2 and tile 5 on each side. It shows you which one, but it has to be completely within the tile, which means it has to be within inside the teeth, and it has to be touching the walls and past. Robot is currently set up in a legal position to do that. I could also turn it this direction and do some other things, turn around the other way if I wanted to. However, you don't want it being like this where it's into that part of the other tile there, or be over here and be into the scoring zone in the terminal. And then lastly, if you want to put your team sleeve onto the signal cone there, your signal sleeve, you can go ahead and put that on there so you can try to get the bonus points for the randomization task.
The teams also have an option of pre-match setup. The teams have the option of preloading a cone, which should be either in possession of the robot itself or just touching the robot, just as in previous seasons.
So once the driver control period starts, the human player can start putting cones out of the substation storage into the substation. You need to place them in one at a time. However, you can put multiple cones in here at any given time. They can be in any orientation if you want to set them like that, or if you want to drop them in there, that's okay. The only thing you can't do is propel them out onto the playing field.
With the robots in the substation, the human player is not allowed to place the cones, and vice versa. When the human player is in the placing the cone, a robot cannot move in to pick up any of the cones. When a blue robot is traversing around the field, if they get to the stack and if they knock over their own blue stack of cones, there are no penalties associated with that. But if they knock over the opposing alliance cones, there are potential for 5 minors if the stack is 5 tall. So one of the things in the driver control period is the signals can be herded or plowed to a safe location, but no control is allowed. Control of the signals, because these have no value, no score value. Autonomous interference, if your robot is interfering with the opposing alliance's scoring, then there's an interference penalty. That's a major. Descoring of cones from the junctions or terminal, that's also a major penalty this season.
Also, you can't block scoring attempts at the junctions or the terminal of either of the other alliance. That is also a major penalty. You can also not block access to the opposing alliance's substation as well.
There's also a component of blocking access to the terminals or the junctions that gets added on every 5 seconds. There is a G28 that comes into play.
And lastly, you cannot descore the other team's beacon. That again will be a major penalty if you do that as well. Please read the rules and understand it more so you can understand the ins and outs of those major penalties and how you can avoid getting them.
And keep on top of the Q&A.
Well, teams, that was a quick overview of the rules, a little more details than are in the animation. Hopefully this will help you understand the game so you can plan your strategy and your robot designs to maximize your scoring, et cetera, in the game this year. Good luck to you all, and I look forward to hoping seeing some of you at an event real soon.
Yeah, good luck to all the teams. Thank you.
Hey, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoy that animation. Looks like it's been a great game. Go ahead if you have questions, put in the Q&A in the chat. We'll try to answer them. We've got a studio audience to answer. I saw a lot of questions about why no water. Water and electricity don't mix, that's why. It's not a dangerous situation. So let's go back here to the audience. We'll have our first question.
So if you're on an alliance and your alliance partner puts their team scoring element on one of the poles, can you stack yours on top of theirs, or would you have to put it on a different pole?
So the question is can you stack your team beacon, which would, here's an example of one.
Demonstrate.
On top of that, can you put the other teams on there? And the answer is no, it doesn't count. You don't want to do that. You can only do one on each pole. That played 2, plus you'll own both of those poles. That'll be the advantage.
And only one robot can score.
And then also, robot can only score 1 beacon at a time per match. So if you score yours, the other team can't. One match. In the match. So if you score 1, you can't score your partners. Okay? And other question. We have another question over here.
Are you allowed to possess the opposing alliance's scoring elements?
No, you're not. That'll be, I believe, major penalty, a minor for sure. You cannot possess the other team's scoring elements. The beacon is definitely a major. To do that. Also, if you control them like we showed in the video, knocking the stack over is considered controlling, so that'll get you minor penalties to do that. So yeah, you can't have the other teams. Come on,
So the locations where you stack the cones are right next to your team area.
Yes.
Are you allowed to put your team scoring element on top of another team scoring element? Like, for example, your blue cone on top of if another team has their red cone in front of their red area?
Okay. So in terms of the cones you can stack any color until you go, but once you put your team beacon on, you will own that particular junction, and you cannot put, the other team can't put theirs on there, and I'll show you.
What he's asking for is stacking cones. Let's say this junction is stacked.
Yeah, stacking
secure.
on the junctions is okay, but beacons is not. Yeah, so yeah, you can
This is
stack that
valid.
as high as the cones will be supported to do that.
Were you asking about the junctions or the junctions? Okay.
Junctions and also on the tall poles as well, so if you stack them up. Somebody here's got another.
Any online questions? So if you manage to get one of the scoring elements on the junction, but it's not upright, does that still count towards points?
Excellent question. Basically to score, they have to have two things. One, they have to be upright, and they have to have the big side here, pointing down. So that's good. That's not. I don't know if this will balance. There, that's not. So it's basically big side down inside this junction, and for the pole.
You can do it on there too, right? So upside down.
Yeah. So if you did that, that's no good. And if you carefully get that off, be careful. Put that down. That's good. Stack them up. Okay. You in the back. Get my exercise in today.
So for the taller yellow rods, if
Yes.
you're trying to place a cone on top of them, can you like stabilize or like hold the rod, like bend it
Yes.
in order to put the cone on?
So there's two components. One is the only game elements you're allowed to grasp are the cones and your team element. You can't grasp these. You could push your robot like that and to put it on to do it, but you can't grab it. So that'd be the only thing. But yeah, you could manipulate it down if you needed to. You just got to be careful though, if it's sliding down like they showed in the animation. I don't know if I want to do this live or not, but oh, that's why I'm a referee, not a robot designer. But anyway, you saw that could have flown off to do that. So, another question over here. Sid, come on, help me do this. I'm walking around.
So
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
if we make our, I forget what they call it, right? Team scoring elements so they
Yes.
can stack directly on the cones, could you, off of the yellow rod, put a team scoring element on the cone and then put them both on the rod at the same time?
That's an excellent
Great
question.
question.
And we were just talking about that earlier, actually. So, question is let's assume we'll use blue so we don't confuse people. So, let's say you're blue, you could do this, and then if you wanted to then go and score that, you would get the score for the cone and you get the capping for the beacon to do that. And
But then it has to be done in the end game. only.
you can possess one cone and one beacon at a time. So yes, you can possess one of each at a time, but one and only one of either one. So, all right.
Talk about the solo cup since we made jokes about it.
Oh, as you'll see if you.
Example over here.
Oh, we do. Oh, okay. That's right. So, solo cups. What's that?
Turn the robot. The robot has a solo cup.
Oh, this robot does as well. I'll be very careful. So anyway, so last year everybody loved solo cups. Well, in the game manual, it's going to tell you that the team scoring element cannot look or resemble any of the game elements. And guess what? This resembles it. Therefore, solo cups are not allowed. Don't bring them unless you're bringing them to have something to drink. That's it. And I know you all have saved up a bunch and you got some, but have people over, serve them some. Hey, I didn't make the rules, I just read them. But anyway, no, that's good because otherwise it would be very, very confusing to us as referees to be able to see what's going on to do that. So you can make them as a cylinder, but it can't be the cone shape, so remember that. All right, Sid?
Yep.
You want to talk about the alliance beacons have to be their alliance colors?
Oh, yeah, as you'll see, I've made one here that's got this team number on it instead of bringing the other one.
Yeah, each team will have to bring two.
You have to bring two. You have to have one color. So when you're on a red
One of each
alliance,
color.
you have to use your red beacon. And when you're on a blue alliance, you have to use your blue. It needs to be primary that color. It doesn't have to be all that color, I don't believe. But look in the rules. It explains how that is. And that is one thing you're going to have to do. So you're going to have to bring two beacons and backups. As these could get run over. This one's made out of cardboard. So if a robot ran over, it would do that.
Game manual 1, section 7.4 or something.
Look.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, question for the internet. This is going to get tougher. Okay, if a junction has a beacon,
this
do
has
the
no
extra
score
point-
value.
Okay, so if a junction has a beacon, do extra points go to the alliance with the beacon or the last cone under the? It is whatever's on top. In this case, if let's say there was a red cone. Let's do this one here. So there's a red cone there, and that. The red team will get points for having their cone on there, but the blue will get the beacon, and they'll own that particular junction. So again, whoever's on the top owns it, but everybody who puts one on will get score for putting that cone on there. And once the beacon's on there, nothing else can be placed on there or it'll be a penalty. Or no score, one of the two. They are, I believe, these are about 13 and a half, 23 and a half, and 33 and a half. And it's in the manual. You can see they've got they got excellent illustrations, but that's approximately there.
Appendix G7.
Something. One of the many there. There's a lot of good, great, really independent. There's a lot of good graphics so you can see what to do to tell you how different things about this work. What else do we have from the internet?
We didn't cover
Can you have
this
multiple
one thing
elements?
about.
Can you have multiple elements? Okay, you can hold one and one only beacon, and let's see, let's get a cone, and one and only one cone. If you're carrying more than one cone, it's a penalty, minor penalty for the occurrence, and 5 seconds after, just like in the past. Same thing with the beacons. If you have two beacons, it's going to be penalties as well.
Beacon, no lights.
Yeah.
Talk about what you're.
Yeah, the signals have no score value. Teams cannot possess it, but they are allowed to herd it, not just plow, herd it to a safe location if they want it out of the way.
You also want to talk about the bonus for bringing your own alliance?
Yeah, as you talked about, you can make what's called a signal sleeve, and this is crude. I did this There's a template in the game manual that will go to it. You must use that template, and it must have the dots, it must have the picture within the frame and your team number on it, and a certain size. Okay, let me put a couple things down. I got too many things in my hands. So, let's see. There we go. So, as you can see, it has the 3, 2, 1 dots, and then each of these pictures has to be within there, and then your team numbers at the bottom. And essentially, this just gets taped together like this, and then it fits over there. And if you put that down at the beginning of the game, and you do correctly identify which zone and park there, you'll get the 20 points instead of just getting 10.
So yeah, I would say you want to clarify that, and you get an extra 10 points.
Yeah, so if you can correctly identify which one of these is here and you park in to say this is the zone that it was, if you park there, you'll get 10. If you'd had your signal sleeve on to start, you parked here, you get 20 points.
In the signal zone, not there. Navigate to the signal zone.
Yep.
The signal zones are
these
these three zones. These two tiles, 1, 2, 3.
Did everyone understand that? You get 10 more points if you just print up the thing and stick it on there. Yes.
Oh, and bring more than one. You can laminate these and do some other things. Again, there's rules in there about the construction of it. I haven't seen them yet, but I know they're in there, and the exact size. Use the template only. Make sure there, and make sure that each of these images is distinct.
So
Which all
follow up
And they
on
can't be the
signals.
same thing as the.
Could you QR code on there? That's an excellent question for the game design committee. I'm not sure about a QR code. I believe we can and do that, but I would really, post that to the Q&A when it's available, because so everybody gets answered. Again, when it's posted, the Q&A and the game design committee answers that question. Everybody gains the knowledge of that, and not just somebody who's happened to talk to myself or Sid or another referee. What else do we have? Questions? Can you cycle multiple cups in an autonomous? So the question is, can you pick up multiple cups? The answer would be yes, because there will be the stack of 5 of your team's colors on that side of the field and on this side. So in addition to, if you do preload a cone, you put that on there, and you could come back and have time and could figure out how to do that. You could put multiple cones onto either the same junction or different ones, as whatever you think your strategy would be.
You want to explain how there's not actually a bonus for autonomous?
So in autonomous, there's no bonus for the cones other than the 2, 3, 4, 5 points, depending on which type of junction you put it on. The only bonuses in autonomous are related to looking at the signal and determining which signal zone to park in.
But they're a bonus because they get counted again.
Oh, yes, and then anything that gets put on autonomous, we'll count it however points there again, and then at the end of the match, we'll get points counted again. So if you have this, if this one gets put on here in autonomous and stays, it gets counted twice.
So the next question is, when the robot's manipulating the junction, is it only to be pushed, or can it be grasped and moved in other directions?
Excellent question. Pushed only. In the game, the only thing that can be grasped are cones and cones only. No signals, no poles, no junctions. That's.
You cannot.
But you can push them
grasp.
again. You can. You know, this is. I can push into it, but I can't do that or do that.
Isn't it like there's some kind of definition in there?
Yeah, it's grasping of the.
Read the definition.
It can't have opposing points. In the definition of that, I'll talk about that. In other words, since I've got two things opposing, that's there, where this is just a single point. So it's about the opposing things that are there. I like just doing that because that's cool.
Go ahead and do that again. I want people to see how the floor flexes when you do that. I don't know if it comes through, but
Yeah, it looks like it
go
goes.
left to right.
Just a little bit, we can see it.
Yeah. So interesting things to do.
So we have a few people asking about what happens if the cones get stacked over the max height of a junction. I guess that would be for the low junction, but
I would say, as near as I can tell, as long as they are all stacked up and stay stacked on each other, that would still count.
Yep.
And again, you can see these cones stack pretty good. They're pretty stable. As long as you got the bottom one down good, they'll stack up till pretty close to as high as I think you can make them.
The junctions are defined by the boundary, and look at the appendix in the game manual 2, which shows you an unlimited height.
Yep.
It's a cylindrical.
All right.
next question, can you cap at any point in the game?
Excellent question. Sid, would you like to take that?
Absolutely. You cannot cap in any, only in the end game. That's a simple answer. The beacon comes into play, can be delivered by the human player only in the end game.
Yes.
And prior to the delivery, prior to that, we'll have a 0 score value.
Yep. And it has to come into the substation to start.
Yep.
So it'll be over, you'll have your beacon like I've got that one over there. It'll be in the substation to start with the rest of the additional cones that we're going to play with this year.
So we have some human player questions, or one at least. Can the human players place the cones in the air into the area in a stack?
This is the area. Yep, I think so.
I believe they can. The constraint is, as we were talking, is put them in one at a time. As Sid's going to show, you can
only put them in one at a time. You can put them as long as they're in the substation. You can put it in any direction you want. You can even put it upside down.
Okay, and I guess theoretically you could stack them.
You can even drop them. You can stack them.
The issue, why would you want to be careful if you stacked them, Sid?
You can't control.
Yeah, you can't control more than one. Yeah,
so you
keep
lose the
that in
benefit.
mind. If you could stack them like that, if you want to pick them up, but you got to pick them off the stack, and that may be harder to do.
Exactly.
So a few questions about the circuits.
Yes.
Can you score multiple circuits? So I think the idea is if you make multiple paths.
You can score one and one only circuit. And again, to connect the circuit, you have to basically connect one of the three, being these two and this one, junctions through each and every junction all the way across to the other side of the field to your other. It's diagonal across the field this year to do that. And you can only get score for one. And that does get you a bonus in the end game if you are successful.
Do you want to clarify there's no predetermined path or anything?
Yeah, there's no predetermined path. Whatever set of, other than you can connect to one of these three to start. After that, you could go all the way down there, over that way. You could go across. You could go over, back. Whatever circuitous route you believe that you can get to own the things. And again, it's about the ownership of the junction. Whoever has either the last cone on top or one of the beacons will own that junction. You have to own the junction for it to count in your circuit. And it has to be from terminal to terminal.
And just a clarification, both teams can make a circuit?
Yeah, if both teams can make a circuit by owning different ones, that's completely acceptable.
I assume teams is different from alliance.
Yeah, so the red alliance can make one and the blue alliance can make one. If they both are successful, they both will get the bonus points.
But remember, they're crisscrossing, so only one will probably likely get.
Well, because you have to
own
own
it's
the
going to be
junction.
broken.
One can go this way.
One could go that way. Yeah. So there are conceivable routes. And you can get really dizzy with Andrew moves the camera right a lot.
I get motion sick. You think I'd be aware of that?
Yeah.
So the next one, I believe you already asked this, but can you possess the team element and the beacon at the same time?
Team element is the beacon.
Yeah, team element is the beacon, but I think you're talking about the cone and the beacon, so I can possess one of each at the same time. But again, it's only one of each and do that. But yeah, if I want to, if this is put down during end game and I pick it up and I pick up a cone and
sorry, wrong colors, you can't pick up that.
Excuse me, wrong color. I can't do that. So signal sleeve. Sorry. But yeah, so if I were a blue robot, I could pick these up and I could carry these around, assuming they were legally put into the substation and do that. And then I could go, like we talked about, you could do that, or I could put one there and one over here, or whatever exciting combination I would dream up.
Awesome. Can we remove our team beacon to score cones again?
No. Once you put it on here, it's capped and owned, and you have to leave it there. So yeah. So if I did this and I drove away, I could not come back and go maybe that if I wanted to.
No descoring of anything.
Yeah. Descoring of everything is penalized.
And another question about circuits. Are circuits only counted as connected at 90-degree angles?
No.
No. So let me grab some blue.
Get a bunch of blues.
Yep, I'm going to do some blues, and I'm going to go, I got blue right here. Okay, so let's see, that one's there. We can connect that one, and we would have a circuit which would go from there to there to there.
Do you have to score one in the
terminal too?
Oh, we got to score in the terminal. I'm sorry. Put one in the terminal. And by the way, any orientation, it just has to be in, not completely in.
Can't see you around here.
Oh, tell me to move. I don't.
Yeah, there's a wall there.
There's also something to stand on and break.
Part of the field.
Yes.
And
You don't have to have one on the black one. It's one of these. Yeah, I'll show that in a second, and we'll come back.
This is not complete.
No, it is. You don't. That doesn't need that one,
sorry.
Sid. You're
that
complete.
Is complete. Yeah.
It's not working. I'm trying to knock it over. There it goes.
Hey! Penalty.
So we've got another follow-up about
so
sleeves.
the question came up. It doesn't have to be this junction. It can be any of these three are connected to the terminal. So as long as you have one of these three started and the terminal's got something in here, you can start your circuit over to the other side.
Speaking of the low one, you want to show how you can push one on from the floor without picking it up? Just slide with your foot.
Yep. Here, let's do it with a robot. Your driving skills.
Don't turn it on.
Or does the drivetrain get pushed?
Yeah, it'll go push. Yeah, it can. So yeah.
We really don't want to see Bob driving a robot.
Hey, I did it last week when we were practicing. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you could do that. So there is an ability to push things around and put them onto the lower circuits that are on the ground there.
Another follow-up about the sleeves. Can sleeves be solid colors?
Solid.
I would have to look there. I don't know that it is, but you could if you do it. However, they have to be different colors. And one thing is, in the I'll do a extreme close-up again. In the here, I got this one. Extreme close-up. You can see kind of the outline here of.
Trying to get the focus. There we go.
You can see the outline here where the image is. You would have to have that color contained in there, if you did. Again, if you can figure out three colors that your robot can identify. Oh, thank you. Last thing we need to do is show me falling down on.
Last thing I need to do?
Well, maybe not, but.
YouTube sensation, Bob.
So we've got three
I'm
questions.
already enough of one.
So we've got three questions that'll wrap us up here. One is, can you cap a floor junction?
Cap a floor junction, absolutely.
Yep.
If you can do that, cap a floor junction. So.
And then two about human players. One is, can the driver count as the human player?
No, I don't think so.
You have to designate somebody as a human player to start, and since you have two alliances and you only need one human player, you should be able to come up with one human player that's not going to be part of the drive team. So again, remember on a drive team, you only need a driver and a coach. You don't need two drivers and a coach necessarily. So if you do that, but I would think with two alliances, you should be able to come up with another person who can be the human player and do that on a drive team.
Do you guys
And one final question.
Okay.
So can the human player put unlimited cones inside that zone?
There are only 20 cones available.
Yes, they could. You can. However, remember, one at a time.
One at a time.
Got to come into the substation one cone at a time. And there's only 20 over here in the substation, and you can't grab any that are on the field.
All right, and that ends our Q&A. So we're going to pass it back over to Hans.
Thank you, Lake Highland Prep, for letting us use your facility. Much appreciated. Number 2, thank you for Michael Coleman, who's in the background here giving us a thumbs up or thumbs down on whether our answers to our questions are correct. It's very nice in Florida that we have a member of the game committee to help us clarify questions. And then the last thing, if you don't really understand the cone head, go to YouTube, search for cone heads, and you'll see why we're wearing cone heads today. It's a very funny movie. I look forward to seeing everybody during the season, and we have one final video for you to watch from First about the game rules. Thank you very much, and I appreciate everybody helping today. Thank you.
Hi teams, I'm Erin Fadden, member of the First Tech Challenge Game Design Committee. I hope you're excited about this year's Power Play game presented by Raytheon Technologies. I want to give a huge shout out to the Game Design Committee for all the hard work they put in year-round to design each game. Let's take a quick walkthrough of the actual field, plus talk about some of the exciting components of this year's game. First, let's talk about the junctions. As mentioned in the animation, there are 4 different types of junctions: the ground, low, medium, and high. The low, medium, and high junctions have different ranges of movement based on the height. The range of motion decreases as cones are added to these junctions. Next up, we have the cones. Here's what they look like on the field during pre-match setup. To be considered scored, a cone must be secured to a junction. Secured means that either the 4-inch diameter base of the cone is completely in the recess of the floor junction, or when the pole of the low, medium, or high junction passes through the 1.25-inch diameter of the cone with a large opening facing toward the playing field floor. A cone is secured when it is scored onto another secured cone. Cones can be in any orientation to score in a terminal. Descoring, whether intentional or not, may have severe impact on an alliance's ability to complete a circuit. Therefore, accuracy in driving is an important component in this game. There are rules outlined in the game manual that cover penalties for descoring. Teams should be especially careful of descoring cones from the ground junctions. Returning this year is a team scoring element called the beacon, which is used to cap a junction in the endgame period to convey ownership of a junction. Make sure to look at the team scoring element rules that are outlined in the game manual part 1 when constructing the beacon. Teams will need to have both a red and a blue beacon to fully play the game. And more importantly, the beacon cannot resemble a game element. That means items such as cups will not be allowed as a legal beacon. Teams are also encouraged to use TensorFlow technology in the autonomous period. The signal used in autonomous is a tournament-provided element that has 3 images that will be randomized. Teams earn points for navigating to the correct location based on the randomized image. Teams can gain more points if they create their own signal sleeve to place over the signal during pre-match setup and successfully navigate to the correct signal location during the autonomous. A template must be used to create the signal sleeve with images and the team number printed on the sleeve prior to arriving at the competition. The signal zone locations where the robots navigate to in the autonomous are not defined by a tape boundary. Therefore, there is no tape to assist in navigation or identifying inside and outside of these zones. Power Play is a game of strategy, and teams should be prepared to work with their alliance partner to outline the best plan of action to score and ideally create their completed circuit. You should expect that the opposing alliance can and will score cones on top of your cones, which may break an already completed circuit. Teams also need to quickly strategize where to place their beacon during the endgame to convey ownership of a junction. This way, your alliance now owns that junction, and the opposing alliance cannot reclaim it from you. Remember, you only have 2 beacons total per match. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the Power Play game field in action. Good luck this season, teams.
Thanks so much, Aaron. The field looks full of exciting and fun new challenges. We can't wait to see what the upcoming season has in store.
This season is definitely going to generate a bunch of excitement. We can't wait to see your creative solutions and robots in action on the field. And if you're watching but haven't registered yet, there's still time to power up and join us. Visit our website for details and to get started. Be sure to tag First Tech Challenge on your team's social media throughout the season so we can keep in touch and see how your team is tackling the game. Thanks for joining us to kick off the season and being part of the FIRST community. For all of us here at First Tech Challenge, good luck. Have a great year, and I hope to see you out there in person soon. The power is in your hands.